Today I'm going live to have another solo role-playing session with my D&D 5e character Erolith Dawnwind. This is going to be session 4 of this solo RPG campaign, and I'm just going to pick up where we left off last time. A quick summary. Erolith had made a friend, kind of, with this dwarf named Brand, and Brand was looking for his lost halfling friend, Dell, and in looking for her, they found her up in a tree with a bunch of zombies all around her at the base of the tree. They fought off the zombies. Erolith dropped to 0 hit points, which happens every single game, and but they managed to fight off all the zombies without dying. So they after fighting off the zombies, they took Erolith back to because Dell and Baran were both staying at this woodcutter's camp, and they took him back to the camp, and that's where we left off last time. So this is taking place in a stretch of forest called the Grimthorn Forest. It's known for being very wild, very dark forest, untamed, lots of dangerous stuff going on in this forest all the time, basically. And so not many people travel through it. And actually, Erolith and his father, before Erolith became an adventurer, his job as he worked with his father was guiding people through the forest back and forth. So he knows the area pretty well, but it's still very dangerous to travel through this area. I pictured it as a pretty dense forest. So as they're arriving on camp, on this loggers camp, or this lodge they've set up, I picture that they're having to push through, thick underbrush and ferns and these big towering trees. And the forest is, despite being very dark, it's very alive with sound. There's lots of the chittering of insects and the singing of birds, and there's creatures all around in this area. And they get to the this camp, and I picture that a lot of the trees around have been leveled. It's a woodcutter's camp, and there are just simple. There's one log cabin style building that's in the middle. That's pretty big. Maybe 20 feet by 20 feet or something like that. This big log style cabin. And then there's a bunch of tents set up around it. I picture the cabin is an operating room or operating area, a leadership type place. But they get there, and they'll be greeted by their other companions here at the woodcutters camp. So I'd like to generate those characters. Just to get an idea of who we're dealing with, and these could be Erolith's adventuring companions going forward, and so I do want to know a little bit about them. So first, he already has 2 people he's with, so I'll probably roll a d4 and have that determine how many people are here, other people are here in the camp. Maybe a D6. We'll see what a D6 does. If it's too high of a number, I'll just cut it down. Okay, that's 6. That's that's the max value. I guess we can determine just who they are and then see, because not everyone will be his adventuring companion automatically. So I have Knave, second edition, pulled up here on the side. I've got a D100 archetype table pulled up. So I'm just going to roll on the archetype a few times and see what I come up with and see what interesting NPCs are here in this area. So, number 1, 14, criminal genius. Okay. Criminal genius. Number 2 is 32. A gentleman thief. I'm starting to get a little, sketched out by this this party here. 90, a strict officer. What an interesting lot. Okay, number 4. 64 is an overeager bard. $53, a loyal squire. And one more NPC. 49, a jolly monk. Okay. What a strange group. We've got a criminal genius, a thief, a strict officer, a bard, a loyal squire, and a jolly monk. What are all these people doing in a log cabin? That's my immediate question as I pull up here. What are these people doing all together? So I'm going to try and use Mythic to kind of figure that out. And then we'll role play it out once I understand a little bit more. So I'm going to head to Mythic and open up the meaning, the action meaning tables, and just see if I can figure out what the heck's going on here. So the reason why all these people are here together is because, okay, that's 16, carry, and then action 2, carry business. Carry business. I mean, the most obvious thing is, well, duh, they're here logging. But why is it this group why are all of them logging together? Why are they carrying a business? Let me see if I can get another verb here. 34. Dispute. Okay. Dispute. Defense. Carry business and dispute defense. I'm gonna have to be creative here because I have no idea how to interpret this. Okay, so here's an idea. There's a genius, a thief, and a bard, and then an officer, a squire, and a monk. So I'm kind of seeing two, maybe more chaotic leaning characters, the criminal genius, the thief, and the bard, and then maybe more lawful characters, the officer, the squire, and the monk. So maybe one of them is disputing defense and one of them is carrying business, and we can figure out what that means. So I'm going to roll a d6. If it's odds, then the chaotic people are carrying out business. And if it's evens, the lawful people are carrying out business. evens. Okay, so the squire, the officer, and the monk are here to carry out business, while the thief, the criminal, and the bard are here disputing defense. Okay, maybe this officer is some kind of like prison warden kind of thing. And the gentleman thief, the criminal genius, and the overeager bard have been caught doing something illegal and have been thus sentenced to like work off their sentence. Maybe their crimes weren't violent, so they're not just rotting in jail, but they did some petty crimes, and in order to, they got caught by this strict officer and his loyal squire, and so they're doing logging as like a community service, like pick up trash type of thing, to pay off their time. Okay, I think that's something I can do with that. And so maybe as they get there, this chaotic and the monk, there's a monk here too. Maybe the monk is just here looking to serve the community. Maybe he's like, I don't have to log. I'm not, he's not like shackled like the other ones are, but he's just looking to serve the community. And so the gentleman thief, the criminal genius, and the bard are disputing with the officer and his squire. Maybe they want to leave. Maybe with Dell being gone, they're like, this is crazy. We should not be here. It's not safe. Dell is gone. Barand is gone. They haven't come back. We need to get the heck out of here. And so they're arguing about that right now. Okay. And so Erolith and Barand and Dove get there in the middle of this argument. As they show up, I'm sure the officer, I want to get some names for these people. Nave has pretty good name tables. So, criminal genius. I guess I'll do, first I'll just determine male or female with each of these. I might have already been using he or she, but we'll determine that right now. So criminal genius, odds will be female, evens will be male. Criminal genius is a male. Gentleman thief is a male. Strict officer is female. Overeager bard is female. Loyal squire is female. And the jolly monk is male. Okay. Wow, that's 3 boys and 3 girls. 50-50 odds. That plays out. Okay, so now I'm going to generate some names. So, the criminal genius will be Benedict. The gentleman thief will be Redmayne. That's Kenna's last name. That's Erolith's fiance is named Redmayne. So I'm gonna go with a different one. Urban. I wonder if that's a nickname because he's a thief. Okay, strict officer. We got Olga. For the overeager bard, we've got 56. Jaquette. The loyal squire, 71. Nerissa. And finally, our jolly monk is named Bennett. We've got Bennett and Benedict. I'm going to re-roll that because that will get confusing for me. I got Bennett again. That's crazy. Chadwick. Okay. So I've got our 6 NPCs here. They're in the middle of a dispute. Erolith, Adele, and Baran kind of pull up. And Olga, the strict officer, she, they're like, this isn't fair, this is crazy, this is dangerous, we need to get out of here, Adele and Baran aren't here, they're not back yet, like, we need to save our own skins, we'll pay our sentence some other way, and Olga, I imagine a strict officer, she stays very aware of her surroundings, and so she'll notice that that Erolith, Baran, and Del are coming up, and she'll say, "Oh, Baran, you've returned and you found Del. That's good. But who's this you've picked up? Someone else that has a crime to pay out?" And everyone will kind of look and give Erolith a once over, and Erolith does not like that. He's not a people dude, so he'll be just like giving the stank face to everyone, just like being as resistant and defiant as he can, basically, because he does not like. He knows that they're like judging him and looking at him. He doesn't like that. And Brand might even say like, "Oh no, he's not a criminal. He starting into that, like he saved us," and Ernst will be like, "If it weren't for me, your friend would have been eaten alive by giant wolf spiders and zombies. So I prefer if you didn't refer to me as a criminal." And Olga will just kind of nod. She holds her position of authority and doesn't really acknowledge the request. But she'll say, "Well, thank you for returning them safely. If you're here willingly, are you here to join our camping operation here?" And the others will be like, no, we'll join it. We're getting out of here. We're not staying. I imagine that Baran and Del will also kind of be in the favor of, no, like it's really dangerous here. They'll probably share with Olga what happened, with Del going, because Del is a messenger, and so she got sent to deliver a message and got intercepted by these zombies on the way. And had to hide out in a tree. And Baran went looking for her and got attacked by spiders, and they got back to the cave, and they had to fight their way out of the cave and stuff. And Erolith has really taken a beating for it. So they'd probably also be in favor of getting Olga to leave. I'm not sure that Erolith is pretty comfortable with all the danger, so he probably won't argue for them to leave. I don't think he's looking for adventuring companions. So maybe Erolith makes a proposition to Olga. And he says, "It seems that these woods have become pretty dangerous. I am very familiar with these woods. I grew up here. I know it like the back of my hand. And I'd be willing to offer my services as a fighter, a protector, a guard, and a guide here as you work in the wood camp." And we'll see. We'll see. He's not super charismatic. He's got a -1 in persuasion, actually. So we'll see if what Olga thinks. 12? Olga's reasonable. She says, well, it does seem that this is a dangerous area, so maybe an extra guard, an extra pair of eyes would be helpful. But it depends on what your rate is. How much you charge for your services. So in like the D&D rules, they say that a gold piece is your standard day of work for a worker. And Erolith wants more than that. Because, there's like, he's not just like, laying bricks or whatever. He's putting his life in danger. So maybe he wants 2 gold pieces per day. It's like 14 per week. So he'll make that offer. He'll say, I believe I'm worth 2 gold a day. As Brand and Dell already know, I'll put my life on the line for the people around me. And they'll kind of like nod in agreement. So I'll give Erolith advantage on this because Dell and Brand are kind of backing him up. But he's still got that -1. So we'll see. Okay, that's a whopping 4. Olga says, 2 gold pieces. That's double the wages of your average worker. I'm not paying you 2 gold pieces per day. With a roll this low, I'm hesitant that she even offers 1 gold piece with a roll of 4. Let's see. D6 decision time. Odds, 1 gold piece. Evens lower than 1 gold piece. Evens is lower. Maybe she'll say, I'll do 7 silver per day. Which Erolith, that hurts him. That he might get a little mad. One of his traits, his personality traits are like, I can stare down a hellhound without flinching. I'm going to work hard to earn a better life. And he's like trying to earn gold. This is like what he wants to do. So this is something that's really important to him. So maybe he'll say, he'll offer one last time. He'll say 1 gold piece per day, and I'll earn my keep. I'll provide all my own food, just from like foraging and hunting in the area, and I'll like have my own shelter. I won't use any of your supplies. I just ask for 1 gold piece per day. Okay, here goes. 10. 10 isn't going to cut it. Olga will say no. She's a strict officer, so she'll say no. 7 silver per day is my final offer. If you want gold somewhere else, you can leave. Does Erolith just go somewhere else? I put all this work fleshing out these NPCs, and I want kind of an interesting story. I fleshed them out a little bit. Maybe he'll accept it at first. Maybe he'll say, okay, I'll accept it. But I do ask that if I prove myself worthy of my 2 gold piece original asking rate, or at least if I prove myself to be worth more than 7 gold pieces, that you pay me what I'm worth. And Olga will just nod and say, if you prove yourself. So Erolith has a job. He has a job now. He needs to protect this camp. Okay, here's a question I hadn't considered before. Our brand, Dell is a messenger, so I would guess she's not, and she was allowed to leave freely. Brand was also allowed to leave freely to find Dell. So I'm guessing they're here, maybe not voluntarily, maybe just like you can work this job. It's like a thing that the local village, or probably a city if they've got this officer full time, the local city. Maybe it's Honor Grave. Maybe it's Honor Grave that they come from, which is on the other side of Grimthorn Forest. Yeah, they come from Honor Grave, and this is like something that this is an official like city sanctioned job basically, and you can, if you don't have a job, you can come work here, and they'll pay you a reduced wage. Maybe that's why she fought so hard to give him less than a gold piece. They give you a reduced wage because it's like a city job, but it's like guaranteed income basically if you don't have a job. Or you can use it to pay off prison time, to work it off basically. Or you can just be here for fun, like Chadwick the Jolly Monk, because he rejects worldly possessions maybe. All right. So Olga will probably, so Brand and Dell are probably here, yeah, just to work and get some money. And Erolith is here to keep things running, to help out Nerissa and Olga in their job of keeping things safe here. So I imagine Olga will introduce everyone. She introduces Benedict. He's serving time for. These are all like minor crimes. So not something that you would, like something that they would let you work it off. So I imagine that, like medieval times had like silly kind of rules about like, oh, you can't ride a donkey after midnight on Sunday or whatever. I imagine that the overeager bard probably Jacquette broke some kind of rule like that where she rode a donkey after midnight or something like that. Or she just like one of her songs kind of poked fun at the town guard and they got mad and jailed her for it. Honor Grave is a religious city from what I remember from the world building. It's like run by a church basically. And so, or a religious group. So maybe they all broke some minor commandments of like, Gentleman Thief, Urban, the Gentleman Thief, obviously he committed some sort of petty theft where, because theft is something they took really, really seriously in medieval times, but he tried to steal something, got caught really quick, but it was like something minor. Benedict, the criminal genius, was like caught cheating at some kind of game or something, like cheating at, he's like planning out how to cheat the guards out of their winning, out of their wages at cards, and he got caught cheating. And then Jacquette just maybe made a song that was a little too irreverent for the religious group's taste, and so they're all working their time. So Olga will introduce them. This is Benedict. He's working off, trying to cheat us out of our wages at cards, and this is Urban. He's here for associating with thieves and criminals, and then Jacquette is here for criticizing our holy leaders of the church, and I imagine Jacquette will just kind of give a shrug. The others will just kind of like nod. They're here working off their crimes, and then Brand is here voluntarily working for a wage, chopping wood and preparing it. Dell is our messenger. She keeps us connected between here and the city and brings back supplies. And that's Chadwick, and she'll motion to him, and he's here just for fun. I'm Captain Olga. I'm in charge of things here, and this is my deputy, basically, Narissa. And Narissa is like, she's the loyal squire, and so she's like at attention, basically. You'll report to us if you see anything suspicious and take it out. And Erolith will say, okay. She'll say, do you have any questions? And Erolith, he'll probably ask, well, what kind of threats have you run into? We've run into zombies and giant wolf spiders. Is there anything else I should be aware of in this area? Which is a good question for Mythic, I think. I think. Are there known threats here in the area? I'll say 50-50, which we're at Chaos Factor 6 for Mythic. So that's a roll of 65 or under. Is a yes. That's a 68. So no, they're not aware of anything else. Maybe with it being so close to a yes with the 68, maybe Olga knows something, but she's not going to share it with Erolith. He's talking all this talk about proving himself, and she wants him to walk the walk, basically. So, just say no. Just your standard dangers of a forest, occasional bandits and wild animals. That's all that we know of. I think at this point, probably Brand and Dell will share the story about the wild rogue to Olga. Be like, oh, Brand will say, Miss Captain Olga, I want you to know that on our way over here, we overheard something terrible. There was a strange man who got very cross at another man, telling him that he destroyed some kind of precious magic item and it ruined their whole operation, is what he called it. And then he stabbed him right there in cold blood. We just tried to stay low and we came straight here. But I think that's something you should know about. And Olga will nod and she'll say, okay, that's good to know. That is troubling. I don't like the idea of anyone having an operation here in these woods. Okay, does Olga commission Erolith? Does he assign him specifically to figure out what's going on with this wild rogue right now? Let's say. I'll say probably likely. Maybe she'll. So that's 75 or less. 38 is that a... Okay, that's just a normal yes. She'll say that is troubling. Well, what was your name? I'm Erolith, Dawnwind. Well, Mr. Dawnwind, since you're so eager to prove your worth, why don't you, I'll give you the specific assignment besides keeping the camp safe, is I want you to look into this rogue figure. You say you know these woods like the back of your hand. You think you can track him down and figure out what his plan is, and if it's dangerous, take him out? Brand, or Erolith will face down a hellhound. Simple direct solution is the best path, and he'll say, well, if I'm getting paid to take care of the camp, if I take this man out, will you pay me the wage I asked for? And Olga will consider. And I think she'll say yes. If you can track down a wild rogue running some sort of illicit operation in these woods all by yourself and take it down, I'll happily pay you 2 gold per day. And Erolith will nod and he'll accept. He'll accept this mission. I think that's the end of the scene. I think that's where we'll end the scene here. So let's add some more NPCs. We've got Olga. Oh, dang it. I'll put this in pen. Well, I can just write it in pen right now. No one is watching live, so. Okay. Olga. Honor grave. Why did I put 2 G's? Honor grave. Captain of guard or a captain. We'll see if any of these other people come up. I do want to address something meta-wise. I don't want to send Erolith out all by himself, because that's dangerous. So I'm going to see, does Chadwick the Jollybook offer to help? I'll call it 50-50. That's 58, so just barely no. Oh wait, except for I'm on Chaos Factor 6, so that's a yes. He does offer to help. So I'm finishing this scene. So we've got Olga. We've got Chad, the Jolly Monk. We've got this thread list of investigate the rogue's operation, tracking down. So thinking like larger plot wise, Erolith doesn't want to be doing like a small time job like this. He wants to be adventuring because he wants to get rich as fast as possible, basically. So he can get back to Kenna and live out his life. He's not really looking for a career. He's looking to get rich quick, and that's why he's being an adventurer in the first place. So this is, I think, just like something to prove his worth to Olga, to maybe build some connections in Honorgrave, to see if any of these folk are ready to be in an adventuring party with him. So he's just like laying down some ground steps. He's planning ahead. He doesn't have a lot of book smarts, but he definitely plans ahead with a lot of things. So he's just kind of laying down some groundwork here. So yeah, I think Erolith he lost all of his rations and stuff when he escaped the spider lair. So he needs to go hunting to get some rations so he can survive. And he doesn't have a tinderbox or anything. Okay, so new scene. Chaos factors down to 5 because he was pretty in control there. So chaos factors down to 5 now. And Erolith wants to prepare for this. He's gone into every situation kind of blindly. He wants to do some preparation for this. And so he wants to, maybe Del will get sent back to Honorgrave to deliver the message, and maybe he'll give Del some money and he'll ask Del, could you buy some supplies for me in Honorgrave? And he'll just like ask her to refill everything from his Lost Adventures kit, basically the Explorer's Pack equipment. So I'll see how much the Explorer Pack costs, and that's how much. 10 gold pieces. So that's every dime he has. I do remember that Baran offered to pay him 15 gold pieces for saving Del's life. And Erolith is going to ask about that. He's direct. He'll say, Baran, do you have that 15 gold you agreed to pay me? And Baran will say, oh, yes. I'll go grab it from my tent. And he'll grab it, and his coin pouch is probably pretty modest. This is probably most of what he has to offer. And he's been saving up, but to Baran, it's worth it to save Del's life, because I think he's crushing pretty hard on Del. So he gets 15, but then gives 10 to Del to buy him some more stuff from the Explorer's Pack. So I'll just say that he gains 5, so he's at 15 gold pieces now. Okay, Erolith is going to set up a shelter, like on the edge of camp. Some kind of like bushcraft shelter. And then he's going to go hunting to try and get some rations. Because that's of immediate concern is some food and water right away. So Del goes off to replenish his supplies. Let's see. It's probably not a super fast journey there and back. So I'm going to roll a d8 to see how many days it takes Del to return with the supplies. Okay, so it takes a week for Del to... it's not that far away, days and days to get there. I don't think so. D4. 4 days, okay. So it'll take her 2 days to get to Honorgrave, maybe like a day and a half, a full day of like doing business, whatever she needs to do, grabbing supplies, and then another day and a half to get back. So in 4 days, Del will return with our supplies, 4 in-game days. So we need to get rations and purify water enough for 4 days. So Erolith is going to set up. I'm not going to have him roll because he knows how to build a freaking bushcraft shelter. He does that every single day. And he's got a bedroll and stuff. It's summer in game, so he doesn't need too elaborate of a shelter yet. But he will go hunting to try and get some rations. So I'm going to roll for it. 17 plus 4 is 21. Let's go. I'm going to give him a D with a 21. That's pretty good. I'm going to give him like advantage with D6s to see how many rations he gets. 6 rations. Let's go. So he'll be covered for the time that Del is gone. I'm going to put rations here at the bottom because they're expendable. So he catches something pretty solid. 6 days of food. I picture maybe he gets like a wild pig, like not like a full-blown boar that's like 400 pounds or something, but just some kind of, wild, like a more lean kind of forest pig. And that gives him enough meat and rations and stuff for he can make jerky for 6 days. So he gets that all ready. Has his camp ready, and he'll probably just start off. So he's going to head off the way that he that they came, where they saw that interaction with the wild rogue, to see if he can track him. So I'm gonna roll a survival to have him find his way back and see if there's anything around. 13. Okay, so he finds his way back in a forest. With a 13, I'm going to say he can't find any tracks, but he does find that dead guy's body. It's still there. So he's going to search the dead guy's body to see if there's anything helpful on it. And I'm going to ask, Chaos Factor 5, is there something that will point him towards this wild rogue's operation? A first step, a clue. I'm going to call that very likely that he'll have some kind of indicator on there. Yeah, whoa. I got roll right off the table. 59 is yes. So he does have something that indicates what he has, what this operation even is. So let's roll. Let's roll for it. We got action meaning table. Operation is 49 heal. Okay. 49 again. Interior. Heal interior. I've gotten a couple times where I've rolled these dice and I've gotten the same results. I wonder if this doesn't really shake them up that much. Heal interior. And this is like a rogue operation. I guess. So we described him as a wild rogue. I pictured him as like a Robin Hood type of character, like a rogue who lives in the woods. He's trying to heal his interior. I'm gonna roll again, see if I can get more, something more. 16. Carry again. And 56. Carry mundane and heal interior. What? Carry mundane and heal. Okay, maybe we'll introduce some moral complexity here. Maybe he literally is a Robin Hood character, or a Robin Hood type figure where he is like the bandit here in the area, living in the woods, preying on these like adventuring groups that travel through the forest to get to Honor Grave. But he gives his money to the mundane, to like the low class, the poor. Interesting. That sets up, I like that because it kind of sets up this wild rogue as an interesting foil to Erolith, because Erolith is just in it for the money for himself. Whereas this wild rogue is after money, and he's doing like, arguably, I mean, robbing people, but he's like doing it for a noble cause. So we've got kind of like a cool dichotomy here. I like that. So what does Erolith find that indicates that that's what's going on here? And also, like, this guy died. Like, he had a okay, so there's a magical object that the dead guy destroyed that the Wild Rogue needed in order to run this Robin Hood operation. Which we don't need to determine what that magic item is or anything like that, but like what kind of clue is it? Okay, so maybe this guy has like a tattoo or a symbol or a pendant or something on him that marks him as part of this Wild Rogue's band of merry men, basically. And Erolith would know that because he, as a guide, this is the kind of group that he protected people from. When adventurers passed through, this was like one of the bandit groups that he would know in the area that often preys on travelers going through the Grimthorn Forest. Okay, so he's got like a symbol. I'm gonna go to Nave. I know Nave has like a just mundane items table that I can roll on, and I'll see what that mundane item is. Equipment. Okay, there's like weapons, decorations, fabrics, clothing, books, miscellaneous items. I'll roll on the miscellaneous items table. 68. A portrait. Okay, so for some reason, all of the bandits of this group use, like, they keep a portrait of someone, and that marks them as part of this Wild Rogues group. Okay. So Erolith, knowing this, I would guess that he probably has an idea of where this bandit group's hideout is, like generally, because he just knows the forest so well. So I think we'll end the scene there. We're down to Chaos Factor 4, because I feel like he was pretty in control there. And we're getting close to the hour mark. So I think we'll end the scene there with Erolith finding this clue that these portrait Wild Rogue bandits are what's going on. And they've got this whole operation that's using magic items that he's been tasked to take care of. And the next scene will be him trying to find their base, basically. Okay, I think that's where we'll leave off. No combat this time. Probably not super exciting, but yeah, met some new NPCs, some people who maybe down the line will be part of his adventuring group, but for now he's just protecting them, trying to prove his worth. He's probably gonna go fight some bandits, probably gonna have his butt kicked. Lots to look forward to. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed session 4 of Erolith Dawnwind's journey to get rich and become a great adventurer and retire and marry the love of his life. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, ciao.